Hello and welcome to Meade Week. I'm Bryan Spann. On tap for the first show of the year, the ID card section expands service, post-chapel renovations for schedule changes, a look at the Martin Luther King Jr. Day observation, and more. But first, a little business to wrap up from 2011. At the beginning of the combined federal campaign, the goal was to raise $400,000. But as Fort Meade CFC coordinator, Sergeant First Class Bryan reports, Fort Meade CFC contributions surpassed expectations.
We finished out at $521,000, which I think is pretty outstanding for the base.
You might think with all the influx of newcomers to Fort Meade, the leap in contributions might have been expected.
The only big organization that we added was DMA, and they did $39,000. And so it was really kind of the legacy units that we had who stepped up and put more emphasis and grew the numbers.
In other news, the 902nd Military Intelligence Group and the Garrison EEO office hosted the Martin Luther King Jr. Day observation Thursday at the McGill Training Center. The guest speaker at this year's event was Joe Madison. Madison, known as the Black Eagle on Radio 1 WOL in Washington and one of America's top talk radio personalities, was a last-minute replacement for the Reverend Walter E. Fauntleroy. He might have been a last-minute replacement, but his speech, both educational and inspiring, received a warm Fort Meade reception.
You know, most of what people in the military don't know, there would not be a civil rights movement if it wasn't for the integration of the United States military. That is a fact. Medgar Evers was a soldier. Hosea Williams was a soldier. Most of the men who fought in World War II came out of that war, came back to Mississippi, came back to Georgia, came back to Alabama, and said, if we can fight for democracy against Hitler and against Mussolini, we damn well can go against the Klan and Dixiecrats in the South. And they transformed the South. So that, you know, if anybody should be appreciative of Dr. King and the civil rights movement, it's you men and women in uniform, because you integrated.
The main Post Chapel across from the Post Theater is undergoing some renovations. As a result, there are some changes to the chapel services schedule. The weekday noon Catholic Mass is being held at the Cavalry Chapel across from the Freedom Inn dining facility until further notice. Additionally, the Sunday, January 15th Mass is canceled. Meanwhile, there's a Saturday Vigil Mass at 5 p.m. at Cavalry Chapel. Sunday Mass will be at 9 a.m. at Argonne Hills. Starting Sunday, Episcopal services will be in the Post-Chapel Fellowship Room at 8:30 a.m. until further notice. Protestant traditional services will be held at the Post Theater on Sunday at 10:30 until further notice. Questions? You can contact the chapel at 301-677-6703. In other news, if you're having a hard time finding time during a busy work week to replace your ID card, the Fort Meade ID card section is now open the first Saturday of every month from 8 o'clock to noon. The Saturday service, which began this past week, is on a walk-in basis only. Human Resource Center officials are offering the service as part of a 6-month pilot program to see if it will reduce the number of customers during the week. Again, the Saturday hours are full service, so you can obtain CAT cards as well as dependent ID cards. The ID card section is located at the Max J. Bilkey Human Resource Center on Huber Road. For more information, you can contact the office at 301-677-9586. One final reminder, Child, Youth, and School Services' next driver's education class runs January 23rd to February 2nd. You must be between 15 years and 9 months of age and 18 years old. There is a fee. For more information, call 301-677-1196 for details. And that's Meade Week for this week. I'm Bryan Spann. For everyone at MeadeTV and the Fort Meade Public Affairs Office, have a great weekend and a great Meade Week.